सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति। The most important feature of manifested world is multiplicity, and we are so much used to caught up in this multiplicity. Very difficult to imagine that there is one single thing which is behind all this multiplicity. So difficult, and just only a imagination that comes to this. That's the reason why this Upanishad is very important, because it tries to give us the idea that how the whole multiplicity is belonging to only one thing that is there, and such strange, difficult, different multiplicities that are there, they all belong to the one. Like, for example, when you say that, how can we say that darkness and light are one? They're totally opposite. White and black are one. They're totally opposite. Why I'm saying this is that this particular kind of a division is so much in our head. It's very difficult to transcend that. In areas things we always say that this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. Okay, this is not okay. We are so caught up in that. Small little simple things we get caught up in that. Like with the I car will be going on this lane or that lane. Up to that people try to differentiate that. So and such strange things are together here. That is what he brings about, this idea that when you look at it, that first the Brahman Prajapati becomes the sun, and the sun, what he said, is something which is very important, very extraordinary. That's why we have the Gayatri mantra, because Gayatri mantra is a praise for sun. But then at the end of it, they say that Diyoyona Prachodayat. That means to say it is about the wisdom that he is talking about. So that means to say the light, sun, is also the component of wisdom. And wisdom is such a complete, complex kind of a thing. It is, it's only the Upanishad suggests us, then we can understand that. Like, for example, that first of all, the sun from which everything comes about. Often we say that all the energy belongs to the sun. Like, for example, whether it is the fossil energy, whether this energy, that energy, wind energy, everything comes from the sun, that we say. But even to produce that, why only energy? Even the components which produce the energy also are from sun. Like this, the earth comes from the sun, moon comes from the same sun. The whole system comes from the sun. So therefore, when he says that Prajapati has become the sun, that means to say it is that one unit from which everything comes. But not only everything comes, but it comes with such great intelligence, such great wisdom, and that is something which is enormous. Like, for example, he becomes why he sun. He also becomes the moon. The idea is that this separate thing has happened, sun and the moon. What do you mean by moon? Moon does not shine by itself. It's only shining with the help of sun. And sun can only shine on moon. If moon is not there, you can't. Sun cannot shine. So, in order to see that that interaction takes place, moon has come. So, therefore, this interaction takes place. This is one aspect of it. That means that whatever that shines is all because of sun, and whatever that is inert which cannot shine by itself, is supposed to be more. Like the same thing when you look into yourself also, I see, but the eyes themselves are like moon. They're inert. And then all the mechanism inside is also inert. Until understood that you are there behind consciousness to see, all that mechanism, I, everything becomes redundant, meaningless. Ultimately, it is that consciousness which is seeing. And that consciousness itself is the sun. And all other things are supposed to be moved. In fact, there's a very beautiful way that one of the Upanishads says that sun is using these things. It's like that. Your eye is using the power. Seeing is using the power of eye, and the seeing is used by the mind, by the brain, and like that. Ultimately, when you go, it is the consciousness which is using all these things. Minus the consciousness, everything is zero. Later on, it comes once again that comes into the picture. But that's how everything is done. So far that we can understand that pranamcha, raimcha, one becomes prana and the other is rai, and then this matter is rai. Prana is supposed to be purusha and prakriti. It is the purusha uses the prakriti. Prakriti has all the variety. Prakriti can become many more varieties of all those things. In fact, I was thinking that earlier I used to say that ಗಾಳಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಸುತ್ತಾಗ್ತಾರೆ. So what happens is that um, Prakriti, I used to say that Brahman is also the freedom. And the freedom, the most important component of freedom is to give up its freedom to become something of a lesser freedom. And later now I've been thinking about that. I thought there is no other activity at all. Only giving up freedom is the only activity that Brahman does. And giving up that freedom to become something of a lesser freedom. So that's the only thing that can be. So that interaction takes place. Like a part of the sun comes out in the form of moon because in inert. That means up to that it has completely given up its freedom. Moon does not have any freedom at all. Therefore, that it becomes least freedom, and that is used by the sun, reflecting its light and this and that, all kinds of things it is using it. So therefore, if you see that this way, that it can become many number of things, n number of things. Not only that, it can continuously keep on becoming. So therefore, that it is. That's why this creation is also what we call it as the manifest Brahman. That means there is no limit in the manifestation, unlimited manifestation there, as much as the unlimited unmanifest is there. So both these things are. That's why it is called as the uh, Vyakta Brahma, Avyakta Brahma. Both these things are there, manifest and manifest. Now, in the Vyakta Brahma, then he creates. So therefore, that sun we think of it, he is the Vyakta Brahma. Now, sun moves, and because he moves, that he creates a space. If there is no movement, there is no space at all. So space is created by movement. Now that movement also creates time. Without the movement, time is not there. There is no reckon of time at all. There is no reckon of time. But look at the amazing. But behind these two things, that it is the sun who is supposed to be intelligence or the wisdom. So the wisdom is so great, extraordinary. I was thinking that that's what the mantra says, that he created certain the sun. You take only in sun of our solar system. Like that, there are so many suns. You can imagine that consciousness becomes several suns like that, billions of trillions of suns like that. Now, if you take only one sun itself, that you can see that how much of creation, how much of intricate creation has taken place, that he created the uh, movement. And that movement with reference to us, it's going down and up. Otherwise, in the space that there is nothing like moving up and down. So therefore, that it creates that. Then all the planets are there, stars are there, and not only that he created that those things, the size and the position and the speed with which all these things are so planned in such a way that he created the whole calendar for us. So that is what it says that the sun created sun himself or the Brahman himself is the Samvatsara. Samvatsara is the reckon of time. So for a human being, the sun Samvatsara is the reckon of time. But then Samvatsara is such a huge reckon of time. We are bigger than that in the form of several Samvatsaras together. All those things are there. Kalpa, Yuga and Kalpa, these are all there. But then Samvatsara is a reckon of time that we can use it. And this Samvatsara also has all the seasons. That means to say, a repetition takes place. So there is certain amount of repetition that's going to happen. So therefore, that samvatsara he created so that this repetition continuously happens. But it's further to be divided. Therefore, there are so many stars, so many planets, and all the structures and their positions are given in such a way that therefore that all further divisions in the samvatsara can take place. They're all because of the sun. The sun would not have placed all those things in that position. We would not have it that. Like for example, we have winter comes, summer comes, and rainy season comes. All these changes occur because of the position of sun. And he must have so intelligently placed all these things and placed the earth also along with that in such a way that we get all these things. And I used to, in my school days, the geography teacher used to say that, you know, board that they put the sun is the center and then earth is rotating on its axis and rotating around the sun on axis. But then there, the earth rotation of axis is uh, it is not with the sun rotation axis, but it is skew to it. That is 27 degrees actually. Then I used to ask my teacher, why is it 27 degrees? Why did you not put it so straight? It must be intelligent. Then don't ask, shut up all these questions. It is like that. It is like that. But he would not say that what is the benefit of fire or what is the intelligence behind it. See, my idea was what is the intelligence. I was thinking that putting the same thing in the same axis is our intelligence. We always say why God did not create things perfect. That means putting the axis straight. That's what is perfection is the language that we speak about. But God says that's stupidity. So he has created that angle. The angle is created because of that reason. Sometimes we have sun on us on our head. Sometimes the sun is coming from a different this thing. So therefore all the seasons, and then equator is something, and then it keeps moving from one side to the other. So because of that, all these things are created. So because that variety is created, all these things are. Who created all these things? Again, it is the sun, and that's what he says that in the ninth sutra he gives us Samvatsaro vai Prajapati. Tasya ayane Dakshinam cha Uttaram cha. Now, yes, Uttaram cha Dakshinam cha, these, that means the ayanam is journey. Journey towards south, journey towards north. Sun goes towards the south, sun goes. This actually, the, the movement is with respect to us. It means the observer's respect that he is talking about. Not that something like that is happening in the sky outside. But it's with respect to us, it is like that. It has its own purpose with us. See, this is also another important thing is that man can never separate himself from the nature and the universe. So we are all same. That's why I said this multiplicity. We are so caught up in the multiplicity, we can't even think that we are part of the nature. The air that we take out, and then that same air is there outside, goes into the universe. The sun, what the universe uses, we also use it. Water, rain, everything is there. So therefore, but then in this moment that we develop certain advantages out of it or create so many things out of it. The first thing at the topmost level that he says that Samvatsaro vai Prajapati, Brahman himself has become the Samvatsara, Tasya Ayane Dakshinam cha Uttaram cha. So that means there is Dakshina movement and the Uttara movement. Tad yeha vai tad ashta tad ishta purte kritam ityupasate. Now what happens is that it is for the sake of ishta purti. That means you desire and then its fulfillment. All those things is created by these two kind of a thing. They चंद्रमसमेव लोकम अभिजायन्ते अभिजयन्ते त एव पुनरावर्तन्ते तस्मादेव ऋषयः प्रजाकामाः दक्षिणं प्रतिपद्यन्ते एषः वै रैर्य पितृयानः. Now this is a look at the Dakshinayana Pitru Uttarayana. With respect towards the movement is there. The sun is there at the same time, at the same place, but with respect. But then its influence on us so much that our journey also is in two different ways. One is Dakshinayana and the other is Uttarayana. That's why what is Dakshinayana? Dakshinayana means basically it is a journey towards the Rai, towards the earth, towards the Prakriti. That's what is Dakshinayana. Dakshina is going towards the Prakriti. And Prana is something which is going towards the Uttarayana. That's why I always say that the direction of prana is always in the upward direction. It's not on the earth. You you put a plant, immediately it goes in the upward direction because the prana takes it. And that's the only force which defies the gravity, however much the gravity is there. Now, that small little thing that you see in the plant is the same thing that's there in the life also. He says, in the life also, Dakshinayana is that the one that draws you towards the matter, towards the material, towards the earth, towards losing the freedom. That's what it is. Uttarayana is gaining the freedom, going towards the freedom. So these two journeys are there. Not that one is bad, the other is good or something like that. Idea that these two journeys are there. So how is this one journey of Dakshinayana takes is important? There are material becomes important, material connection becomes important. Therefore, what happens is that your whole psychology, your whole everything is geared towards the way that how I want to be comfortable, I want to make this material comfortable. All those things are there. This is what we try to. Yes, that's a very good thing that we develop all this technology, we make use of the material, and we get more and more material to work with various things. And it does Dakshinayana does not mean that anything wrong about it, but only thing is that the material world becomes important for us. So then what happens is at the end of it, we still continue to have, and here there are two different areas that are there. One area is that you do all those things to see that all these things we do for comfort. I see that we are more comfortable, more happy, and joyful. So therefore, that we there are two ways of doing it. One way people do it is that there is something called as the they create this heaven and hell, and then we would like to go to the heaven and Swarga. That's what every religion has created Swarga, so that people enjoy that Swarga aspect of it. That means to say it's a material aspect, but it is the good. So you do good to the others, you do good for yourself, and then you accrue this, uh, the virtues, and then you go to the Swarga, spend those virtues, and then come back. It may be space outside, or maybe in this world only. It doesn't matter where it is. Like for example, that somebody is born in a with a wealthy family, silver spoon, don't really have to do anything. Everything is given in a platter, and then you enjoy it. You say that he is born in Swarga. It's not anywhere else, it's here. Maybe that in the previous life that he must have done something good, therefore you born in that. Somebody may be born in that a wealthy family, but miserable life. So again, it looks like it is not the question of what the material aspect is there, but the psychological aspect is also involved. How much he can really enjoy it, make use of it, or how much. But then there may be somebody who may not have all those things, but he is really very happy, joyful. So that's also Swarga. That's why there is a very beautiful story that somebody went to Swarga all the way, heaven, and then he saw that heaven is people are still. Mirabai was dancing there, and Kabir was singing, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was dancing, and all that. Right? So, is it we are in Swarga? Yes, you see that those people are there. They're dancing, and then they're singing, and they're joyful, and all that. It's like festivity. Then he said, they still do all those things. He said, what do you mean by that? He said, they did all those things and they are so that they go to heaven. And they continue to do all those things for what? Yeah. No, no. Actually, they created heaven by doing all those things. So you create a heaven for yourself. It's not the question of some heaven somewhere else. And that's what is the other people's concept is that heaven is somewhere else. And then you go after the death. And you have all those things that are there in the heaven. Nice, wonderful, young girls are there, witches are there. And liquor is flowing in the rivers. There you don't take the liquor in the glass, you dip yourself in the liquor. All those things are there. But there is only one condition, that is, you don't go with this body. But without this body, without these senses, what is there to enjoy? But in any case, they're happy with that. They don't have that question. They don't ask that question. Because that question uh, defeats the very purpose that they are doing it. So therefore, it's okay. It's all wishful imagination. But more than all that wishful imagination, this story is more useful, saying that you create the heaven by yourself. It's in your hands. Whatever may be the situation, however may be the condition, I can create the situation, a festival, a beautiful moment, so that we all enjoy the moment. We create that heaven here itself. I can create the hell also by putting all this unnecessary demand and this and that. All those things I can create. Hell for others, hell for myself. Actually, there's another thing that you cannot create hell for others unless until you are also into that hell. See, like for example, if I have to torture somebody, how much I must be feeling the bitterness inside me so that I torture? Very simple question is if I am yelling at somebody, that yelling I do is only 20% of what is that yelling that's there within me. That means I created 80% of venom within me and only 20-30% I throw it outside. And that normally we can see that, when somebody is shouting, why do you shout at him? Take it easy. Why do you spoil your blood pressure, your health, and all that? We don't realize that we are creating the hell for ourselves. So heaven and hell that we create for the, we think that we create that. So we try to go from heaven, hell, this, that, and there are various rituals are given, practices are given to see that how you can. I created various other things. Like for example, there is one hell called as, uh, you know, Punnama Narakam. That's what they say. That means actually Punnama. I was wondering what it is, but later I found out it is Putranama Narakam. That means the sun. If sun is not there, that means he will not do the Pinda Pratana, he will not feel satisfied. So what is that actually? It is like that the soul feels satisfied. The soul which is satisfied is in the heaven, not in the hell. So whether it is here or when I'm out of this body also, I'm constantly in the sense of satisfaction. So therefore that I'm in the heaven. If it is not there, then I'm in the hell. So if somebody is not remembering me every time and then offering something, and that's when we say that yes, he has gone to Punnamana. And that became such a ritual kind of a thing. You should only have a son who can do the Shraddha for you so that he can free yourself from the Purnama. And if you read Garuda Purnama, you get all these things. So it became so concrete. Otherwise, actually, why son? Why not daughter? In fact, these days, daughters are more reliable than the sons. So why create that kind of a thing? So essentially, what has to happen is that this these are all in the south path. Because basically, if you look at heaven and hell, they are also about the material comfort. They're also about focused on the material. It's nothing beyond that. And focus is also Rai. Material always is Rai. So it's always at the Rai. That means you want to be the boss over the matter. It has been the way that we are doing it. So whether you have all these ideas or whether you work for you are a workaholic, that's what people give the idea. So much caught up in the work and all those things. It's all nothing but dakshinayana. That means to say it is towards the matter. So and this is normally the way journey of common people. So ते चंद्रमसमेव लोकम अभिजयन्ते ते एव पुनरावर्तन्ते. So therefore that you go and they all those things come back. But then the wise people are then tasmadev rishaya prajakamaha dakshinam prapadyante esha vai rairya pitruyana. This is what is pitruyana. This is what they are given all these ideas being that prajakamaha. So there are wanting to have more children, more people, and create them. So that it's a prajakama can be various ways. That I try to do so many so good to the people, social service. Whether it is social service or whether it is the way that Upanishad says that it is akarmana na praja dhanena. Make more money and then wealth and distribute the people. They're all there. Kings have done such wonderful work that they created so much wealth and distributed. That's what Ramarajya was all about. So like that, all those things are there. So Dakshinayana is, don't take it easily. It is something which is very sacred in that sense. That means I see this world is much better. World is a very beautiful place, and then that's why all these things are included in that. One is called as praja, and karma and dhana. All those things increase the richness, increase the work, may make the work as important thing. All those things are there, but and they're all good things, not in the negative sense. Because what happens is that here already the people that who have come here and asked the questions, they are brahmanishtaha, brahmaparaha. So therefore, that means they are already in the right direction. That's why they have come here. So to tell them about something which is negative, there is no need for that. Only thing is that something which is of this direction, which is the focused outside, and the other is the focused inside. So this focused outside, he has elaborated, he gave all those things, and this journey is supposed to be journey to the right. And this is what is the ninth mantra that he says that Eva punaravartante. Yes, you complete all those things and then you will come back. You will come back because that you have desires to do it. You want to fulfill that. Good desires, but then you still have idea to come back. That's I normally give that. Punya. And Bhagavad Gita also gives that idea. Or here also it gives that. Punyena punyalokam nayati, papena papam nayati. In Prashnopanishad itself it gives. In Mahabharata, that beautiful incident that is there, uh, two people on two occasions this idea of going in the upward direction is given. One is the case of Bhishma. Bhishma waited for Uttarayana. That means he wanted a journey towards the moksha, not towards the good life and all. He did all that. Everything he did it. He was waiting for the Uttarayana. The beautiful incident connected with that, what happens is that one that evening after the war is over, evening Arjuna and Yudhishthira come to Bhishma and Sentry comes and announces they have come. And Bhishma says, okay, please let them inside. They came and then they bowed in front of him. Arey, what brought you here? Whole day we were together there in the bathroom, and tomorrow again we are going to be there. What made you to come here? Then Bhishma, and he asked like that, Yudhishthira says, we are come to give back your blessing. What? What blessing? Vijaya Bhava blessing. Then Bhishma says, blessings are not given to return. You have to actualize. And you have an ability to actualize, therefore it is given. Then Arjuna says, between the blessings and its actualization, you are standing and we can't defeat you. Best thing is return this blessing. That's the only way we can do it. Oh. Now Bhishma realized the after a moment of silence, then he says, I don't think you must have thought about it. That Krishna must have sent you with that. He is the fellow who creates all. Said yes, Krishna sent us. Then Bhishma for a while. And then, and then says, why Shikandi is there? He attacked of somebody and the attack of somebody else in the Shikandi. What has it got to do with it? We didn't understand. We didn't understand Mahatma. Go and ask Krishna, he understands it. The idea is that then they go back, and then Krishna is eagerly waiting. And they came scratching their head, and then said, Krishna said like this, oh, you said that? Wonderful. That's what I'm looking for. Are you understand, we don't understand. What is it? He said, no. He gave us a permission to use Shikhandi tomorrow so that he will be killed. Wow. But then that night, he goes to Ganga. And that is a very beautiful. Ganga is a beautiful lady. His mother Ganga is sitting there. He goes there. And then, mother, what are you doing here? It's not Ganga. Actually, goes to the warfield. Warfield, and then suddenly in between the whole Kurukshetra warfield, there's one lady sitting and doing something. He goes close to her. Hare, Mother Ganga, you are here? What are you doing? Hare, so Bhishma, that is her own son. So you came here, whole day you are here, and again tomorrow you are going to come here. What is that you are doing here in the night? She asked. I says, well, I came here because I was not getting sleep. Therefore, I just wanted to take a walk, so I came here. And she says, my dear son, I never heard that you had a problem that bothered your head in such a way that you could not sleep. See, what a person he is. You could not sleep, that never occurred. Today, what is that bothering you so that you did not sleep? Bhishma replies, it's not bothering me, but some problem was bothering me that today I got relief. That's why I could not sleep. I said, what is that? Bhishma says, I was taking an account of what I took from the people, what I gave to the people. So that means a positive and negative account. I said, looking for that. What did you find? He says, I gave people more than what I've taken them, what they have given me. So therefore, my life is always in the form of giving. But there is only one person I could not satisfy that. Who is that? Amba. I brought Amba from her fiancé, and then he rejected her because I have taken her. Therefore, that was one thing that. But then, how is that released today? That today, when Krishna sent Yudhishthira to me, I said, I know very well that Amba has become the Shikhandi. I said, why Shikhandi is there? Therefore, Shikhandi has taken a vow to kill me. So tomorrow that will be solved. So my account book is clear. Account book is clear. I have no debt anymore. But that's all right. But what are you doing here? He says, tomorrow my son will be lying down here till the end of the war. So I'm clearing all the thorns and pebbles and all that so that he will not be hurt. This is Runa Anubandha, that Anubandha that you come out of it. This is what is the idea of moksha. That's why Bhishma, because all these things he cleared, he is waiting for the Uttarayana. Waited for the Uttarayana. After that, he goes. This was one person. Another person is Karna. That's also another very beautiful thing. Again, it's all Krishna. It's all kinds of things. He goes to Karna. Karna is, Bhishma is gone. Then Karna is supposed to come to the warfield. Then he goes to Karna in the night. Says, Karna, you know the secret of you. Says, what is that? Who are your parents? Parents are these servants. No, no. Real parents. You know very well that they got you in the river, and then they, yes, see, right from the beginning that I was born, these are the people who took care of me, and then today they are my parents. I don't have any other parents at all. No, you must have some other parent. Yeah, but I'm not even interested. Even if you tell that reason, and at this point of time, tomorrow war is there, and then you ask me to, I'm not interested. No, you may not be interested, but at least you are interested to know about it. I'm not, no, but at least I will let you know who is that. Yes, tell me who is that. Okay, tell me who is that. Reluctantly, Karna says, okay. He says, Kunti is your mother. And then he gives the whole sequence. What is that? What happened to Kunti? He never could imagine. Never could imagine. So that means you are elder to the Pandavas. Now he has a question. Who all know about it? Only I know it and Kunti knows about it. Now you know it. But why did you not tell me earlier? Time has not come. What is the today that it has come? Yeah, today I have to tell you. Why? But you are telling me today, but you did not tell your most dear friends like Yudhishthira, Arjuna, and all that. I did not tell them because time has not come. But today, what is there? I want to take your permission. First, I want to take your permission so that I can tell to Yudhishthira. Why do you want to tell Yudhishthira? So that Yudhishthira will not fight, will give up the kingdom, Shastra, give the kingdom to you because you are the eldest brother. Then Karna says, please don't tell. Please don't tell. Krishna says, I know that your answer will be. Why? He said, because if he gives me, I'll give it to uh, Duryodhana. People should not suffer. Because of me, people should not suffer. Therefore, let me die. Instead, let me die. Let people not know about it. And Krishna says, you are great, I know that. You're extraordinary, wonderful person. I had confidence in you. All the best, he says. And then goes back. Yes. Your position is so high, all that Krishna says. Next day in the warfield, and then everything is going on, and there, uh, Krishna with Arjuna and says, come on, he's fighting. I said, how long will you continue to fight with him? Karna just cut out the shot and hit the chariot. Are yesterday you said I'm a great warrior, and today you are working against me. Hit the chariot. He's wrong. Wrong and all that. Forget about it. You hit the chariot. Make a shortcut. Hit the chariot, and chariot sinks. And then Karna says to Shalya, come and get down and hold the chariot. I will fight. And Krishna says, Shalya, you are the king. He is only Sutaputra. Let him get down, not you. Yeah, yeah. Then Karna goes down and he gives his shoulder to the chariot. At that time, Krishna says to Arjuna, eat him now. Arey, this fellow is so cunning. Yesterday he said like that, today he's doing like that. But anyway, Krishna, Arjuna hits Karna, and Karna is now dying. Karna is dying, Krishna says, hey, he's a great Yodha, he's a great warrior. Don't tell him to die like that. Let's go down. Offer our respects to him. You only asked me to kill him, and now you also asked me to go there. So they both go there, and then he naturally Arjuna is so much. touched by it. He said, I'm so sorry I had to do that. It's war is over, so anyway, I'm going. All the best to Arjuna. But then Krishna says, Karna, you are a, you are known to be a great V Shura, and then Dana Shura Karna. So I've seen you, you are Shuratva now, battlefield. And you also as a Dani. So what is the Dana that I can? Krishna, don't tease me, don't say all these things. If I was there in the kingdom, I could have given you anything. Why did you not come at that time? Why are you coming here? Said, here only I want, that's why I came here. What is there to give? I don't have anything. Except in couple of breaths. Couple of- Now, Arjuna was really puzzled. He said, what is this? He's teasing Karna like that. This man is a useless. But then Krishna says, Karna, here also you can give, even now you can give. When he says like that, Karna realizes the importance. He says, Krishna, tell me immediately what I can give you so that I don't want to miss that chance. You have done so many punya karyas and all those things, you have acquired so much of punya. Give all that punya to me, dana. My God, this fellow can be so bad with me. But then Karna immediately said, okay, I gave all those things, but it must be some great meaning behind what you said. Therefore, let me hear from you what is that you asked us for, so that let me die peacefully. Then he says, Karna, you are such a great person. You do all these punyas and then come back, punaravartantati, again and again take the birth. That should stop. You should get the moksha. Give all these things that you go to the Uttarayana journey. That is the idea. Nowhere else this world there is a thing can go off this way. There's a downward, that means material world journey and the spiritual world journey. This spiritual world journey is the Uttarayana. So therefore, he talks about this Dakshinayana. प्रजाकामाः दक्षिणं प्रतिपद्यन्ते एषः वै रविर्या पितृयाणः. Now, पितृयाण. अथ उत्तरेण तपसा ब्रह्मचर्येण श्रद्धया विद्यया आत्मन अन्विषति अभिजयन्ते एतत् वै प्राणानाम् आयतनम् एतत् अमृतम् अभयमेतत् परायणम् एतस्मात् पुनरावर्तन्त इत्येष निरोधः तदेव श्लोकः. This is what is important. And what are these things that are there? Uttarayana. If you want to go to the Uttarayana, Atha Uttarayana, how do you go Uttarayana? These are the three things. Tapasa, Brahmacharyena, and Shraddhaya. These three components are the components which takes us into Uttarayana. Tapas, these three are beautifully that Rishi organizes these things. Tapasa, tapas belongs to the adibhautika. That means to say the body level, you do the tapas. See, that's why last time also I was telling that standing on both the legs is no tapas. Standing on one leg is tapas. That means to say I'm countering the nature, natural way that I am doing it. See, what happens is if I go along with whatever that is comfort zone with that, I'm not training myself. I'm not really preparing myself for that. I can prepare myself only when I cross the borders of it. There's a beautiful story that somebody saw that two caterpillars were there and then they were struggling to, the butterfly was coming to struggling to come out of that caterpillar. Then he was compassionate. He said, "Arey, why there's such hard shell, and then they're struggling to come out of it. Let me try to help it. I'll take a nice, wonderful scalpel and all those things. But he can't do both. Therefore, one caterpillar he took it very quietly, cut it and all those things, so that in the next 5 10 minutes, 5 minutes, the caterpillar is released from the shell. Another caterpillar struggled with that shell and then came out. The one that he released this caterpillar out of the shell tries to fly, could not fly. The one that came out of the caterpillar shell started flat, butterfly started flying. Then he realized what I thought was struggling. It was not struggling. It was tapas, so that it could become butterfly. Tapas will transform you. Unless until you do tapas, you do not transform. God has given you nice voice, knowledge of music, all those things are there. But unless until you train that, you work with that, that tapas is the one which gives you benefit. So therefore, at the Annamaya Kosha level, at the physical level, at the Adhibhautika level, tapas is very important to see that Uttarayana journey takes place. You see, in the yajna, because normally all these examples are from the yajna. In the yajna, when they put the firewood, at the beginning, firewood will give you only smoke. It doesn't burn, and then we try to, we'll be actually rubbing our eyes and this and that. But once that catches fire, then you see that inside fire is there, makes it to burn so beautiful. Fire is there inside. Bring it out. Whatever the effort to bring it out, that whatever that is inside, is supposed to be tapas. So tapas will make you to see that whatever that ability that's there within you comes out. In the Prithviraj movie, the serial, what is it? Serial he was showing, how much of tapas he does that. He says that teacher says that on the way that something happens and some people stopped him, he did not come to the school in time. Then come on, you do the hard punishment. But it happened, no, I don't want to listen to anything, do the punishment, all that. All that thing made him so strong. Later on, when he became the king, the teacher became his student, what is that? Chief of army. That was the kind of thing. Tapas will make you to do like that. Actually, that's very Rana Pratap. Yes, Rana Pratap serial. Two, three incidents are so beautiful. See, Rana Pratap, he was impressed by Mirabai. He said, I will go to become student of Mirabai and all that. Uday was worried. His father was worried. He said, we want a king like this. And then he comes and blames Mirabai that because of you, that this fellow, don't worry about it. Let him come, join me. He'll learn a lesson. Beautiful. And then he goes away. He was worried actually. Mira is Uday and Uday's wife. They were all worried. But then Rana Pratap comes and then like a very simple way. And then she only asked that get me some milk for doing my Abhishek. Krishna ka, Bhagwan Krishna ka Abhishek karna hai, uske liye milk le. Then he goes and gets the pot of milk. But then Mughals know that it was Rana Pratap, the young Rana Pratap. So they try to obstruct him, beat him. And then, because now he does not want to take the arms in his hand, so he was not fighting, escaping from all those things. In the process, pot broke, only small little piece of pot, and in that he brought the milk. Mir asked, this is what is the milk that you want to give? Not the pot full of milk. Why it happened, you know? What? Because you were not protected. So anybody who brings me milk, if he is protected, I'll get the full milk. So would you like to bring like this or would you like to become the protector? Oh, I'll become the protector. Now onwards you don't have to worry about it. See, it's a transformation. A beautiful time. Same thing happened with such stories. Our Guruji Golwalkar, RSS. He went as a student under Akhandananda, Swami Vivekananda's co-brother disciple. Akhandananda, he went there. Okay, all right, we are there. And then he's doing all those things, but every day news used to come that the Britishers are doing like this. And he said, look, your interest is in that. Why they are doing all those things? Because there is nobody who is protecting them. So would you like to sit in the ashram or go there and do that work? Immediately he went out. And then he started this RSS. You see that you protect Hinduism. That the Dr. Ji had given in his interview, he said very beautiful thing. He said, if Muslims were not there, would you have started RSS? Would give a very innocent. Said, no, RSS is started for Hindus, not for Muslims. Whether Muslims are there or not, Hindus have to become strong. That's why RSS started. Beautiful answer. See, these are all the illustrations to show that people select to be to a higher level. So tapas is that to see that you achieve that tapasa. Then second thing is brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is an ashram actually. So the idea of brahmacharya ashrama is that where your mind is one pointed. It's not diverted. It's not drawn by any other things outside. Because Brahman activity is something which is like brahmacharya. Brahma's activity is creation, preservation, and then dissolution. Why don't you go in that path? That's what is the brahmacharya. Brahmacharya is psychological. So Adibhuta, Adidaivika is brahmacharya. And Shraddha, brahmacharyena tapasa brahmacharyena, and third is Shraddhaya. Shraddha is another very important thing. Is this: if you have already known, there is no question of Shraddha. But a journey into unknown requires Shraddha. Like, for example, I go to the teacher with Shraddha because he knows the knowledge and he gives me that knowledge. I get the knowledge. So, Shraddha is required when I, I want to see something which is higher. He knows it, I don't know it, and there is no way to explain about it, and therefore it's a journey into unknown. This is what is Shraddha. A simple form of Shraddha is having faith. Like, for example, a doctor is there, whether he does the surgery or not, okay, all right. We still go with Shraddha for the doctor because we don't know what's going to be the result. We only know the idea this doctor is good and he does everything good. Therefore, we have a Shraddha for it. For a small little thing to the highest level, particularly with the spiritual knowledge when you have to go, it must be something like a Shraddha of the highest order that you need to have. That's what Upanishad say. The Shraddha is not a simple thing. That's why it is for the Adhyatma journey. Adhyatma journey is a journey. Now, this Adhyatma journey is the one now, the whole Upanishad, where it started. It started with the solar system, sun, and time, and this and that. Slowly comes down to finding yourself. Self inquiry comes to that. That's why he says, Tapasa Brahmacharya Shraddhaya. Vidyaya Atmanam Anvishati. Now he knows Atman Anvishati, that he now goes into self Anvishati. Abhijayante. Abhijayante. Etadvai prananam ayatanam etat amritam. So therefore, this ayatanam, this journey is something which is the next journey towards the abhayam etat parayanam etat asman Punaravartan, na punaravartana ekesha tirotha tadesha sloka. One who goes to find out this, that his self is Brahman, the punaravartana will not be there. That means coming back will not take place. As long as that you have your eyes on the material world of any sort, it may be intellectual pursuit of material, after all, intellect is also material. So this particular journey towards the material, as long as that is there, it is the punaravartana is there. That's why in Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says in the 8th chapter, Abrahma bhuvanalokat punaravartanorjuna. Mamupetyata kaunteya punarjanmana vidyate. Only where that you have the punarjanma is not there is when you follow me. Otherwise, that Brahmaloka also punaravartate. Panchapadapam pitram dvadashakritam divahahuhu pare arthe purishinam अथे मे अन्य उपेत विचक्षणे सप्तचक्षे षडर आहुर अर्पितम अति अमिते अमीति अमीति. So iti. What is that now? He says that when it comes to the Dakshinayana, that means to say time, uh, time is the factor in the material world. Look at the material world, all these things are there. Panchapadapam. I mean, there's another very interesting thing is that whatever that the the rest of the world looks at as mechanical things, we always look at something which is living for us, like the way God Himself is living and then energy. That's why we don't call it as energy, we call it as prana. It's a living kind of a thing. Consciousness is a living kind of a thing. Time is also a living kind of a thing. So when you look at the time, it is moving through all these seasons. In fact, that's what I got a beautiful idea last time I was telling about that. It's a little out of context, but it's a useful thing. We have various festivals in the world going on. Christianity, New Year, this, that, and all. Of all these things, people really engage in doing this uh, festival called as the International Day of Yoga, and then doing the basic set of yoga practices, and then group together, and then this practice is there, Surya Namaskara people practice, and then other practice of yoga. This is something which goes around the globe whole day. When you look at it, it started somewhere where the sun rises, maybe in the China, in the Japan. But then as the sun is moving, you look at the way the world is waking up. And as the world is waking up, we're doing it. There's no other festival which is like that. There's the only festival which is a dynamic festival which moves around that. So that means for us, the time is basically is a movement. It's like a movement. So what is that movement? It's moving through all these seasons. Panchapadapam, that means actually the 6 seasons that we travel. So earlier there used to be only five in India context. So therefore, there's 5 seasons. It moves through seasons, and it's such a beautiful concept about the moving of the season. Is that by the time that one season gets bored, difficult, then you're always moving into the next season. Similarly, Dwadashakritam, that means 12 different months that is there. Vivaha Ahu, that means day and night. And Parayarthe Purishinam. Unless until the day is not there, night is not there, then it's not complete. Athe me Anya Upade, Vichakshanam, Saptachakshe, the 7 days, Chakre, Shada Ahurarpitam Iti. Now we have this concept of chakra because basically later on so it comes Ara Ivarathanabhe. That means to say there is a circle, there is a center where this axle is there, on which all the spokes are there. Spokes are supporting this wheel, and then wheel is moving. So therefore, the whole time is something which is like a movement. That's why we have the concept of Kala Chakra. It's moving. We always have this Kala Chakra idea right from the beginning, in the sense that time is not linear. The whole Western concept is linear, whereas for us, time is something which is cyclical. And everything is cyclical. That's what it says that it moves through this cycle of these 5 different seasons, and again comes back. You said the last summer was terrible compared to this summer. Oh, the last time monsoon we didn't have rains, but this monsoon we had rains. Now, what happens with this? All these things is that because it's cyclical and it is moving, it is divided into all these things. That means months, days, and how do we divide all these things? It's all based on the whole cosmos. It's all given by the sun. Everything is given by the sun. Sun has given us all these things. Therefore, sun is the center of this whole universe in that sense, and he gives us all those things. And what happens is that once we know all these things, more important thing is that the more and more that we have respect and regard for the way that it moves, we can understand the nature, we can respect the nature, work with the nature in that sense. मासो वै प्रजापतिः तस्य कृष्णपक्षः एव रैः शुक्लपक्षप्राणः तस्मादेव ऋषयः शुक्लः इष्टं कुर्वन्नीति एतस्मिन्. So months are there, and again these months are divided into two different things. One is the Krishna Paksha and the Shukla Paksha. And once we have this concept, then it becomes so easy for us to think of it. The child grows is also in the growth spirit. Sometimes the child grows and the otherwise the child plant also like that. One season it will be there, and the other sometime day and night that we see. So these two are not opposite, complementary. That's why I said that in the creation, everything is complementary, and that's what is the idea. Krishna and this Surya created all those things because of this complementary. Out of this complementary, material world, material is something where is resting, and then from that the prana comes. Prana udayate comes out of the from the night. The prana udayate, the sun rises up. So this is how he talks about all those things. But these are all about the external world. But the idea is that what he has given is about the inner search. So what he's talked, where is the creation? And then he says that he brought it to inner search. From where this world is created, brought to the inner search. Now the second question is more towards that inner search. So whatever that prana, which is supposed to be Aditya, brings it to the inner search, and that's all. Again, the inner search is going with the prana only. That's why I said that prana in this Upanishad is something which is so extraordinary in its context. The next time we meet, we'll go to the second question, Vitiya Prashna. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.